Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome back to Take on Tottenham. My name is Ben, and this is my take on Tottenham. And as promised, the videos are starting again after the season's finished. And I thought a good video to start with would be to do like a who I want to keep and who I want to sell this summer, because I think it's going to be a big summer for the football club in general. I think with the manager and the outgoings in particular, because I think a lot of us have been talking about a clear out needed, a lot of deadwood in the club, and I just think we need a bit of a refresh. So I wanted to just do almost like a keep/sell video. Again, this is just my personal opinion. I'm very interested to see what other people think of not only my selection, but who would you want to keep and who would you want to sell this summer. So first up, we have Hugo Laurice. For me, it's a no-brainer. I think you have to keep him. Massive fan of Hugo. He's been at the club for so long. I think he's on 298 appearances. I can't remember if that's correct or not, but he's been at the club for an incredibly long time. Our captain, and I think it showed last season he's still got some worldy saves in him. So yeah, I think Hugo is definitely keep. So that's definitely like a no-brainer for me. Matt Dougherty, very up and down season for him. A lot of promise as well coming into the start of last season. Had a very successful season with Wolves. Came to play under Jose, who played him not in the same style that he did at Wolves. He had a very good season at Wolves, and when we signed him for 15 million, wasn't it? We all kind of said that was an absolute bargain. It was a steal because, like I said, he was one of the better performers in the Premier League that season with Wolves, and we were kind of looking at this going, we've got a bit of a bargain on our hands, and it just hasn't worked out this season. I'm not confident with Dougherty being in the starting 11 for the Premier League. I think he needs to show a massive improvement defensively, because he got done so easily last season on that right side. I particularly remember the Arsenal game was a very difficult game for him. Granted, Bale not tracking back as well was part and parcel of that as well, but I think Dougherty, keep him on for another season, see how he does. If he has another season like he has had this season, I think sell him then, but I'm willing to give him the benefit of the doubt and say, look, it's just a bad first season. It happens in football. But yeah, definitely, I think, not definitely, but I think keep for now. Sergio Regulon, look, he's got talent. We all know that. Without a doubt, keep, but we need to see some big improvement next season, especially defensively. I've got no qualms with his offensive capabilities. Problem is, he is part of the defence and he needs to improve defensively. So without a doubt, keep. But hopefully we'll see some improvement next season. Toby Alderweireld, look, I think right now he's the best defender at the club. Is that saying much? No. I personally, I could go in and claim to be the best defender at the club, to be honest, and I haven't played football for years. And I don't think it's helped this season that he's had about 7 different centre-back partnerships. And I've said every single video virtually that the problem with the defence is they have no cohesion and they don't know who they're playing with week in, week out, and they can't build a relationship. Vertonghen and Alderweireld played with each other in Ajax. They played together for Belgium in the national team. They played together for countless seasons at Spurs. They formed a relationship and they knew how the other one played, and that's why it worked so well. Toby has played with Davies and Sanchez, he's played with Joe Rodon, he's played with Japhet Tanganga, he's played with Eric Dier, and all those guys have had different combos as well, so it's just not worked out this season. Do I think he's past it? I don't think he's past it yet. I just don't think I think he's lost the pace that he used to have. But he's a yard off at least at the minute. But I do think he's still a good defender, and for me, it's a keep. So yeah, definitely keep Toby. Pierre-Emile Højbjerg, look, what do I have to say? He played every single minute of the Premier League last season. It's a no-brainer. Keep him. Without a doubt, keep him. I think him and Oliver Skip next season are going to be fantastic. Davinson Sanchez, you guys know my opinion. I like him, and I think it's just not worked out. It's just not worked out at the club. He was bought under Poch, who thought he was going to be one of the best defenders in the world, and I just, for countless seasons with Sanchez, that he just unfortunately just has a mistake every game. There's at least one mistake there, and well, I think he was unfortunate to concede the penalty on Sunday against Leicester. Thought Vardy went down exceptionally easy. It's one of those where I've just found that every game there's just something that worries me. There's something there that makes me uncertain. And again, I don't think it's fully his fault. As what I said with Toby, 7 different defensive partnerships and stuff this season. But I just sort of think it's not worked out, and I think it's just time to leave. I remember that Man City game where Gundogan left him flat on his face like Mortal Kombat fatality sort of style. I think it might be time for Sanchez to move on, I'm afraid. So I would say sell Sanchez. Heung-Min Son, look, everyone loves him at Spurs. You know, the fans love him, the players love him. Whatever manager comes in will love him. He's a great personality. He's a wonderful footballer. He had such a good start to the season. I feel 2021 sort of dropped off a bit. Again, could be several reasons for that. But I feel in terms of the latter half of the season, he will be disappointed. But look, he's a talent that you want to keep. I think any team would happily have him in their squad. So for me, it's a no-brainer. Keep Sonny. Harry Winks, the curious case of Harry Winks, looked so promising years ago. Looked like he could really find some stability in midfield, but has just faded away almost. And it's sad because I like Harry Winks as a person. I think he's a Tottenham lad. He's a Tottenham fan. He's come up through the academy. He's one of our own. I've got no issues with him in that regard. I think, seeing some of the community work he's done in the documentary as well, shows what a great, guy he is. But I just think maybe his time in this team going forward has come to an end. He's been open about wanting to play more as well going forward. Jose didn't really give him too much playing time. And I think he struggled a bit under Poch as well. I think Poch played him more than Jose. But, Mason came in for his interim spell, played him more then. But I didn't see anything that would, for me, warrant a starting place the game after. And he seemed to find himself in there. And I kept seeing not much from him. And it's a shame, but I think he'll be disappointed himself. What do I put him in? Do I keep him or loan him? I think he's definitely got to go. Maybe a loan spell. To a Spanish club, maybe. I've heard that was rumoured last summer. It didn't happen. I would maybe loan or just sell, but I can't see us keeping Harry Winks. And it's a shame, but like I said, we need a refresh at this football club. We need to get some new faces in. We need to raise some funds for those guys. And I think Harry Winks will do better at another club, I think. So, unfortunately, I'm going to say sell, maybe loan. Gareth Bale. Now, Gareth Bale is due to return to Real Madrid, of course. He was on a loan. Would I take him back? Absolutely. I think he's shown this season that when he can be played and played in the right, with a bit of momentum, he's shown what he can do. He's not got the same pace that he used to have, but he's shown that he can still play. And I think he's put a lot of doubts to bed with that. If the option came, I would say take him back for either another loan till his contract expires at Real, or like I said last week, that Real Madrid are looking to offload. I think him and Hazard potentially. They're willing to listen to offers. So I would take Gareth Bale back. I would have him either on a loan or buy him permanently. Obviously, some wage demands are going to have to be met, but I would take him back. So I would keep Gareth Bale. Harry Kane, look, I'm not even going to waste any time on this. Keep. It's a no-brainer. He's one of the best strikers in the world. He's proved that this season. He got the most assists, most goals. What else do I have to say? Keep. What do I think will happen? That's up for debate. But what my personal opinion is, keep Harry Kane, of course. Eric Lamela had some really promising times under Mourinho this season. Again, the Rabona he scored against Arsenal was, showed what he's got in his locker. Unfortunately, the Rabona that he did against Leeds in the 85th minute, where it went out for a throw-in, also showed what he's got in his locker. And I think Eric Lamela been at the club since 2013, 2014. Was one of the is the last player from the Bale money, the initial 80 million that we had. Last man standing, and I think it's time for him to leave. I like Lamela. I know that everyone at the club likes Lamela. I just think it's time for him to move on. Again, we have to refresh. We have to rebuild. Something that Poch kept saying, and it's time to get some of the deadwood out of the football club. I think it's just time for him to move on. I think he's been at the club a bit too long now. I do think he's a good footballer, of course, but I just think that in terms of offering us stuff going forward, I just think it's just time to leave. So Lamela is sell for me. Joe Hart, a bit of a confusing one when he came in, but I don't think he's a number 2 for us. Like I said, at max number 3, but I can't see. I think we do need another number 2. Paulo Gazzaniga and also Danny Rose have left the club this season. I think it was yesterday they left the club officially after their contracts expired. So we need another number 2. Do I think it's Joe Hart? No. So kind of in a way reluctantly, but not like massively. I'm going to say Joe Hart sell. I can probably see him going on a free, to be honest. Joe Rodon, I really like Joe Rodon. I think he was in defence for a good period of the last quarter of the season, and I was really impressed with what I saw. I think obviously not the finished article yet. I think he's still got a lot to learn. He's a young defender. He's come from the Championship, but I think he adapted really well, and I'd like to see more of him. I think he's going to improve. I think he's going to get really good. It's a no-brainer for me. I think keep him. I've been really impressed with him. It's a shame that he couldn't get any games under Mason, but I think he's going to be a good defender for us going forward. Eric Dier not had a good season. I think his Euro selection shows that. Bit of a shame for him being in the World Cup team, but I think it's on record. He's not had a good season. With regards to Spurs, I just think it might be time to move on as well. I think he's been at the club for a long time. And I just think it's time to have a fresh start. Like I said, we need to refresh. We need to have a bit of a mix-up and go into the season with some new blood. And I just think Eric Dier, this season in particular, has not shown me any I've got no confidence in him at centre-back. And it's a shame because he wanted to do it, but I don't think it's worked out. And I personally, I would sell. So I'm sorry, really sorry, Eric, because I like his attitude. I love his attitude with this football club. I like how much he's, given to the club over the years, and his desire as well. I think it's great, but in terms of the ability that we've seen on offer, I don't see a future there. So I say thank you for your service, but sell, I'm afraid. Moussa Sissoko, very turbulent career at Spurs. Started off terrible, came through in a massive purple patch that he had, and now has kind of just dropped off to the bench, basically bringing him on to show up the defence for the last 10 minutes of a game. I don't see a future for him at Spurs anymore, though. I think it's time to to leave, and so I would say sell Sissoko. Probably not going to be getting 30 million for him, that's for sure. Giovanni Lo Celso, I think he's had a bad season. He'll admit that, but I think keep, because he's got the talent. I just think he between up and down form and injury, I think he struggled this season. But hopefully, a season without injury will prosper next season. So keep. Dele Alli. You guys know I'm a massive fan of Dele Alli. I think there's the talent still there. I can't see it just disappearing magically. I think he's just had a rough season. Obviously not playing a lot under Jose. But I think showed glimpses under Mason, and that was quite promising. So a lot of people might say sell. I'm going to say keep Dele. I want to see him come back. I want to see him make a comeback. Steven Bergwijn, I think, really good player. I think has been unfortunate this season. Didn't get enough goals. He'll admit that as well. I think even the games that he didn't score, I felt like he still contributed quite a bit. And people would say, yeah, he's missed sitters, and yeah, he did. But I think he's still got a future here at Spurs. So I'm going to say keep Steven Bergwijn. Serge Aurier. I think this is probably you have to be a betting man to guess what I'm going to say here. I think sell Sergio Aurier. I just don't. I think it's not worked out. He improved from his season previous, where Pops got sacked. He improved this season, but still had mistakes. Still positioning terrible. I think offensively great. I said it early on when he started with us. If he was playing right wing and had not to worry about defending, I think he'd be great. But he's a right wing back. So defensively, he's really struggled this season. And I just think it's time for Aurier to move on as well. So I'm going to say sell Aurier. Japhet Tanganga, massive fan of Tanganga. I think he's going to be a great defender for us. I think as well, I think could be right back. He showed glimpses of it. That's up to him. He is a centre back, but he's played a lot as a full back as well. So I think that shows his versatility as well. Definitely keep Tanganga for sure. I love him. Lucas Mora, such an up and down relationship with him, especially this season. Very invisible for large parts of this season, and then I had a purple patch as well himself, where he was playing a new role. I think he was playing in the number 10 role, and he absolutely flourished. He really did. He was really, really good, really impressive. Do I see him staying at the club? Do I want him still at the club? I really like him, and we all love him for the Ajax goal, of course. But maybe as part of the refresh, I'm going to say sell Lucas Moura. I just think for large parts of the season was quite disappointing. But again, absolutely love him as a player, and I wish him all the best. But I personally would sell. Tanguy Ndombele, I love this guy. I think he's brilliant on the ball. He's kind of shades of Moussa Dembele in terms of like his control with the ball, shifting his body weight. Has he had the best season of his career? No. I don't. He's had. I think he's had a good season. I just think at times he's dropped off. But the goal. I mean, who remembers the goal against Sheffield United? A wonderful finish. That was, and I think he has had a good season. I think he thrives more in the number 10 role. I think he struggled more when he's playing in line with Højbjerg. But I think we're a stronger team with him in, so keep Ndombele for sure. Ben Davies, I really like Ben Davies in the squads. I think he's a good squad player. Do I think he's a starting left back? No. I think there's certain games where they're tailored towards him. I think, what was the game? I can't remember what game it was now. It was under Ryan Mason. I think it was a game where I actually said in my video I would have, if he'd been fit, I would have started Ben Davies over that. It might have been the Man City game. It might have been the Villa game potentially. I can't remember. But I just feel like Ben Davies is a solid defender, but he's not a starter for me. So I'm on the fence with Ben Davies. I would keep him for one more season. So there we go. Last one, Carlos Vinicius, on loan from Benfica. I think he's going back. I've liked what I've seen when he played with us, but for me, it's not enough to warrant the option to buy. So I would say there's a section that says sell. I'd say not buy. I wouldn't take him back, unfortunately, but I appreciate what he's done for the club this season. So that is it for this video. That's my keep list, sell list. It's just my opinion. Let me know if you agree with it or not. I'm very interested to see what people think, who we should keep, who we should sell. Obviously, I'm sure these will change under a different manager as well. He'll have people he wants to bring in. I might do a video in a couple of days maybe about who I want to see us acquire this season, our transfer targets. So keep an eye out for that, and obviously new manager stuff. It's always popping up, so I'm sure we'll see something in the next few days as well. So thank you again for persevering through this video, guys. I really appreciate it. Well done if anyone made it all the way through the half an hour. Please subscribe. I really appreciate the support. Hit the like button. Leave me a comment on who you'd keep, who you'd sell. And I'll see you guys in the next video. And as always, come on, you Spurs.